Hello, welcome to the Cold Hard Facts on Sex Habits. I'm Jenny Kay, and today we are into part 2 of the premature ejaculation series. Up until my signature proven plan for eliminating premature ejaculation, there really hasn't been much out there. The Mayo Clinic suggested two things. The first thing they suggested is if you're having issues with premature ejaculation, then what you need to do is you need to release 1 or 2 hours before you know you're going to have sex, and that way you'll have a little better control. Well, I see issues in that. First of all, if you're going to release an hour or two before you have sex, your desire for sex really isn't there. It's waned. It's not what it was. If you're ready for sex, you don't want to go in the shower and take care of yourself and then come out an hour from then and try to be in the mood. And so that doesn't, it may work for some people, but that I didn't really see a lot of people going with that. And there hasn't really been anything that people can do, any one thing that people can do up until now. Another plan that the Mayo Clinic had was if they had their patients wear what they call restriction bands. And they could wear a restriction band on the base of the penis, and that way that would maintain the blood in the penis, and they would maintain their erection, of course. And they could control it a little better with that restriction band. But then there are issues with that as well. How tight do you use it? Sometimes people were putting restriction bands on so tight they were severing nerves. You also, when you're using restriction bands, depending on the band, you're going to have issues with, am I leaving it on too long? How long can I leave it on? If you have heart complications, that's not good. So restriction bands haven't worked out as well as some people would like. And that's something that, if you train the body that it always has to have a band, it's always going to need a band, and it's not going to do what it needs to do on its own. So restriction bands, I don't believe, are the answer. There have been a lot of doctors that have used medications, a lot of antidepressants. They kind of have a reputation for making it difficult to release. So some doctors are using antidepressants to help men sustain their erections. And for some men, they like that. I am not a person who promotes chemicals. I don't fund the pharmaceutical industry, and I don't promote that. I believe the body can naturally get to the point it needs to if you train it right. And if you keep your habits where they're healthy and they're not hurting you, you can get the results that you want. Now, not just antidepressants are being used, tramadol's being used. Tramadol's generally prescribed for pain. The doctors have now found that low levels of tramadol can also help a man maintain and keep an erection longer than he's used to. So that's been one of the avenues that people have gone. They've used the chemicals. I think one of the main antidepressants they've used to help men maintain erections longer has been Zoloft, or Sertraline. That's a generic name. But Zoloft is the name of the antidepressant that a lot of people have been using. There's also the squeeze method. A lot of people have tried the squeeze method, where they'll go ahead and squeeze and do the edging. Edging is getting yourself just to the point of releasing and then holding back. And I'm going to have a whole nother video on that edging and how that really does hurt you down the road. Where, you know, honestly, if you train the body to not release when it wants to release, years down the road, when you do want to release and the body's already been trained not to release, then you're going to get into some situations you don't want to deal with. And we'll talk about that down the road. Another thing is the wipes. A lot of people like to use the 4% benzocaine wipes. And they will wipe their body with that first, kind of with the wipes or the numbing cream. And then they think, well, gee, if I can get an erection and I use the wipes, then I can go ahead and sustain that for a long period of time. The problem with that is you put on cream or you put on any type of solution on your body, and if you're not using a condom to cover yourself, the woman is going to be feeling that, and it does not feel good for a woman to have that inside of her body, because it may numb you, but I got news for you, it numbs her too, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to take away her pleasure. So the numbing creams and the numbing wipes, I am just not in favor of those. The problem is there are no drugs out in the market now, absolutely none, that will help you maintain your erection longer, that don't have some contraindication and do something to your body that you really don't want. Yes, we have the Viagra, Levitra, Cialis. We all know that. But the downfall of those, in my opinion, far outweighs the benefits. And I have found that really only about 3% of the people that I have worked with that take any type of those enhancement chemicals really actually needed help. The other 97% were people that had habits. They had bad habits, and they were not willing to change their habits. Some of them, others did. They changed it, and they changed the habits, and they started learning different ways of doing things, and they were successful. And it made a huge difference. Some have tried the Ayurveda medicines out there, but they've found that they have stomach pain, they have dizziness, they have decreased libido, and it's not worth it to them. Even some of the Chinese herbs, the Chinese have combined some wonderful herbs together. Same thing, the decreased libido and the stomach pain and the dizziness. And they find that it may work to sustain the erection for an extra 2 minutes using the Chinese medicines, but the contraindications from using them are also very uncomfortable and very painful. The numbing cream, generally, if you're using that, you have to put that on 15 minutes before you have sex, and it can be painful. It can burn. There are a lot of numbing creams that actually burn, and maybe not you, but may burn your partner. So, you know, for that reason, I don't know if I'd want to do that. And again, there's a lot of loss of sensitivity with that. Of course, you want to lose some of yours so that you can sustain longer, but you don't want your partner to. And then 11 milligrams of zinc on a daily basis. A lot of people say that that helps them. You know, I've heard some mixed things on the zinc. A lot of people that it has helped have had a lot of problem with diarrhea. They take the zinc and they end up vomiting. They have diarrhea. They have a lot of kidney and stomach problems with it. Some of the people that have taken the zinc said they have a metallic taste in their mouth, so they don't like doing that. But, you know, they gave it a try. Most people I've met have tried just about everything. And that's why they end up coming to me. They've tried it all. They even tried using what they call climate control condoms. Those are the condoms that they have a numbing agent in them, and they're a thicker latex. So they're supposed to help. But in all reality, all these other, you know, numbing creams and the chemicals and the herbs and things like that, they can help to a certain degree, but there's a price to pay. There's consequences to using them. So I have been very pleased with my proven plan, and I want to share it with you because I believe that you don't need chemicals, you don't need the herbs, you don't need the numbing creams, and you don't need the restriction belts, restriction bands, or the belts. And if your habits are healthy and you're listening to your body and you're allowing your body to do what it was designed to do, you can sustain and maintain as long as you need to. Thank you for joining me today. You definitely don't want to miss my signature proven plan for sustained performance that will be in part 3, my next video. So you want to hit subscribe to make sure you don't miss it, and you will absolutely love it. It works, and you can turn things around in 30 days or less. So please stay tuned. If today you found anything that was of interest to you or you learned anything, do me a favor and thank me by sharing this video with someone that you really care about. I would really appreciate it. And I just want to let you know I appreciate you hanging in there, and you will benefit by this greatly. And I am so excited to be able to share my plan with you. Have a great day, and blessings to you.